See, when I was putting together Live On Set with Irvin, I was talking about all the masterminds that I happen to be amongst that know how to strategize, that know how to execute, and that's not afraid to use technology and their team to succeed. Everybody that I have on the set is people that I admire, I respect. I don't get a chance to always see what they got going on because I'm always focusing on me. But when I get a chance, I'm always giving a top salute. And if I can't get them in the studio to take pictures, I'm damn sure going to get them on the podcast. We are live on set with Irv, y'all. We're here, another episode, defining success by any means necessary. I have an amazing person in the studio today. She's a very, very near dear friend of mine. I've known her for clearly over 20 years. She would say 25. I would probably say 26. She is we say jack of all trades. She is a woman of all trades. She's a mom. She's a visionary. And whatever she puts her mind to is actually coming true. We have Christina Danielle here on the set. Sister.
Brother.
No pictures. But we're here.
We're here. I think this is actually better than pictures.
I think so too.
Yeah.
They said pictures worth 1,000 words, so podcast should be clearly over 10,000, 100,000, right?
Way more, for
Believe
sure.
That. Welcome.
Sure.
Thank you for being on the set. I appreciate your time. For those who don't know, who is Christina Danielle?
Well, first and foremost, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. There's so much more I could say to that, but I just appreciate you. I honor you. All the things that you do now, all the things that you've been doing. We talk a little bit about that later.
My therapist told me to sit back when people talk to me.
And take your flowers.
Receive it.
Take
so
your
I
flowers,
appreciate it,
as you absolutely should, right? And we need to give more flowers. And so before I say anything about myself, let me honor you. Honor your space, your time, and your talents. Thank you for providing a platform that allows masterminds like us, right, to come here and have these conversations, authentic.
It feels good. Thank you. It feels so good. I told you guys. I told y'all they was coming, baby. I told you they was coming. But without further ado,
yes,
who's Christina Danielle? I believe that even though we've known each other for a long time, I still need to know because I don't know.
Absolutely.
I know you, but I don't know.
So, hi, my name is Christina Danielle. I'm a purpose alignment strategist. And quite honestly, that title actually changed in 2024 from purpose alignment coach to purpose alignment strategist. And what I do is I help women and entrepreneurs to operate profoundly in their confidence so they can prosper in their purpose. And I do it very well. I've authored now 4 books. I have 2 on the way. Talk about that later. I have hosted masterminds, master classes, events. I have one of those coming up. We'll talk about that later as well. And underneath all of that, I'm a mom. I'm a woman. I'm a human being, rather a human doing. And I'm very excited to be here and have this conversation.
Human being, human doing. Where did that come from? I've never ever used this, so I don't want to act like I always tell when people say, "Hey man, I'm trying." I'm like, "You're not trying, you're doing." I say that. Always say that. So it's one of those things where what made you say human doing?
The reason why I say human doing is because there are times where we have ideas, we have thoughts, we have things that we want to do, but we don't necessarily execute on it. And for multiple reasons, right? They're not all negative reasons, but for multiple reasons. But when you're actually doing something, you need to celebrate the fact that you're doing.
Got it.
So, yeah.
Got it. All right. So, what are the things that's coming up? Well, how about this one? Let's make it even easier.
Okay.
How far should we go back? Should we go back?
Listen, it's your world. How do you? How far do you want to go?
I'm trying to remember because I remember you from fine.
Actually, you know what? Yes, let's go back.
We should go back.
You know why?
Because they deserve to know. They deserve to see.
They deserve to know.
Exactly.
Right? And there's nothing. And I thank God that I'm delivered from shame. I'm delivered from guilt. So anyone who's watching this, if you feel like I can't talk about my past because people are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you did what?
No, but I don't remember that. I don't remember those things. Remember, like, even though we was around each other during times, we wasn't like around each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes high school interesting, because we'd be all by the door. Once they popped the door open, we all just scattered like roaches. And then when we were around, we really was just around for like school.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we was always somehow, some way able to see each other growing up. And, you can testify to it. You know what I'm saying? We know a lot of people who haven't survived, like, from then to now. So, I mean, I thank God for it every day. You know what I'm saying? But I always find it interesting because I've watched, again, like we said, the handful of us that are consistent doing something with themselves. You can smell their fragrance off the screen, knowing that they're living, in their purpose and who they are. You know what I mean? So you can see why you would be perfect for a set, where the SET is for strategies and execution and teamwork. You are the embodiment of that. You always, it was always around everyone.
Thank
from
you.
then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
You was pretty popular.
I was. And
short
this
and
is
popular.
why I was very popular. I was very popular.
And very short.
Right? And I have not grown. Let's be clear. Okay? I have not grown physically. Okay? However, mentally,
Height-wise,
spiritually.
Yes.
But yeah, always pretty popular. And that's why when you mentioned, should we go back? Yeah, we should. Right? Because people know me from being the popular person in high school, the popular person in school.
You was popular.
Always had friends, always looked like everything was together. But at the end of the day, I was going through my own trials and traumas within myself. I had very, very strong identity issues with not knowing who I was. I battled dark-skinned girl syndrome. Anyone who was dark-skinned girl in 1990s, 2000s, you know what I'm talking about, where you felt like, oh, the light-skinned girls got all the guys and got all the friends. And it's weird. Nobody would see, and this is the thing. Nobody would ever know. Nobody would ever know. But as a dark-skinned girl, yeah, we dealt with a lot of that. Like, that's I'm going to be honest with y'all. One of the reasons why I wore red lipstick, well, I wear red lipstick now, but I wore it today, is because we want to talk about authenticity and how I would never wear it back then, because I always felt like it didn't look good on a dark-skinned girl's face.
Really? That's weird.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. And I've never, ever, I guess those are the things that, like...
Unless you lived it, you probably didn't know.
Like pretty privilege. Like, I never had pretty privilege.
You never had pretty privilege?
I mean...
I definitely...
Shit.
I have personality privilege, but I was told I was, what I'm saying? But for me, I felt like I had an identity issue with that. Not I felt like, I know I had an identity issue with that, right? I also lost my mom at a young age. I was 15 when I lost my mom, so I was still in high school. And that played a part too on the things that I was enduring mentally and emotionally within myself. So, to see me today, people see us now, they're like, man, you got it all together and you got this and you that. They're like, I'm like, man, if you know what I had to endure to be this person today. I come from a very strong Caribbean family who, when I got pregnant at 16, was like, excuse me, what?
Where families from where?
Barbados and Jamaica. So there were a lot of things that I dealt with that I had to persevere out of. I had to push out of. I had to pray out of. Thank God for God. And it wasn't easy. It was not easy. So I love having these conversations because it actually reminds me of what I had to endure to be who I am today, which makes me more want to celebrate who I am today.
With you saying that, it makes, I lost my mom when I was 4. So I always envied, like, not be jealous, but I always envied the fact of, like, how some of my friends would be towards their parents. Like, the ones who were disrespectful to their parents. It's like, you want to get one mom, you want to get one dad, right? But it's interesting because my closest friends, now they're adults. Like, and now they're like, they some of their parents are still alive, and then for those who are now losing their parents, like as older adults, it sucks to see them go through it. You know what I'm saying? So it makes you wonder, because you was the same age as my sister. Because my sister's 11 years older than me, so she was 15. You know what I mean? And losing moms like at 15, it's something that that I can make a connection with. She's gonna hear this and be like, "Wow, that's me." So but I though we known each other, you know what I'm saying, it just goes to show like the things that was going on in our lives within those 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting.
When we got together, it was a good time. But
because it's school.
For some of us, exactly.
It was school. It was like the away
from the reality
of what we was all dealing with. And
Bingo.
Yeah, I get it, because I learned a lot. I learned a lot just on the Q77, that route, going up the hillside with capping them and coming back down to Springfield and going through. Oh man, I learned a lot about who my friends were after hours. On the Q5, on the Q4, on the 3, the 2.
All the above.
All of them. Anyway, towards Jamaica Avenue. Wow.
That ride said a lot.
Jeez. A lot. So, do you remember when you were called?
When I was
called, like when God called you? Because
oh my gosh.
a lot of some of my friends would ask me. They would say, "Yo, when you because a friend just asked me this last week, what do you mean?" Because she heard someone else say, "What do you mean when someone say God spoke through you? Do you hear a voice?" And in my head, I'm saying, that's a great question, but it's something it's that calling. Like every head must bow, every tongue must confess. Like I'm not afraid to pray anywhere. So when she asked that question, I was like, it's just that you just become it. You called upon to do something and you can't negate it, even if you wanted to. Like this, for example.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you was called? Because I remember when I was called, even from then. Remember, we was popular kids, but I was around everybody, but I was never a Blood, a Crip,
never,
a LSC.
Never.
I was never a part of any specific sets. When anybody was doing all that shit after school, look at us. We were still Chinese restaurant,
like
$1,
nothing, no problem.
Get the dollar fries, walking on the back blocks.
Them fries.
The 50 Cent Tropical Fantasy.
Listen, sidebar, right? Like, I love the chicken wings. I went to buy chicken wings the other day, and I think they said it was $9. I said,
10,
never
right
mind.
Up the block, 10 cents.
Why are they $9
I know.
for 4 little pieces of chicken wings?
And they're smaller too. Ain't
Oh my
they?
gosh. Anyway, but yes.
You know Tiffany? Tiffany who does lashes?
Absolutely. Lash me now. Yes.
So
yes,
TG, right? Shout out to you, TG. We love you,
we
baby.
love you, sis.
That's my baby right there. The amount of times that we walk the back blocks to come home, like the route, even sometimes going, just, let's just walk it. And we would come back eating. So just to think about them dollar fries, like them, put a little bit of that on there, and you could just walk it. Like $5, we was rich.
Listen, okay.
You get a hero.
Let me tell you.
What you could do with $5? $5 back then? Shit.
I think I had like maybe $10 to survive for the week. Okay. So $5, I was like, what?
I feel crazy because London moms would say, hey, do you think it's time for London to get an allowance? I said, London. She says, yes, Daddy. I said, is there ever a day that passed by that I don't, like even like now? Because she's at a slumber, right? What did I ask her?
Do you need me to send you any
do you need me to send you
anything? Send you some stuff? Yeah.
This is business. I mean, I think she's doing all right. She's going to end up coming out less doing that to her if you realize. So, but I'm like, I kind of would be like, yeah, but the daddy me is like, I can't, because I'm going to,
Yeah.
I'm
always.
And you want an allowance on top of that?
Like,
Are you crazy?
Oh my gosh.
Nah.
We would never. We would never. But to answer your question, I do remember. I was actually 9 years old. I was 9 years old when I was called. I recall it very vividly. I was actually at church, and there was this spirit that came over me, and I just went into I went into this thing. I can't even really put a word on it. I went into this thing, and I just felt the spirit heavy on me, and I was like, "What is this? This is weird. I'm 9 years old. Like, what is this?"
The rush or something.
So I've been running for a long time. Transparency. I've been running for a long time. Started at 9, and I ran. I was like, "What is this? I don't understand." But you can only run before.
Amen to that.
You can only run before.
It's so true. It's so true. I believe that a lot of us during the high school days, that's what school was like. School was fun because it was the escape. But that was school was the opportunity to run away, even from God at times. Like it was definitely an escape. I learned so much, and I didn't realize how much I was because I'm from the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? I was born and raised in the Bronx for a little bit.
I know you was born in the Bronx.
I was born in the same hospital that both my parents died in, Lincoln Hospital. So I always, and my school that I teach at now, is literally like 10 blocks away, 11 blocks away.
Circle.
Full circle, like where I was born. My mother water broke. It was told that she just walked across the street. That's how close the hospital is, like literally.
Right there.
From like Jackson to the corner store.
Oh, yeah.
So it was literally that right there. So to hear that was like, and to end up working there and be around those kids, I could relate to them. So it was much easier to, pinpoint there. But I don't believe that I was always I was like indirectly initiated into every single gang and set and every single crew. And I was, I'm not going to say crushed on but I mean, I was light because I was cool with the popular people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but to watch y'all grow up this is definitely interesting to watch y'all. So you have, we're parents.
We are.
Well, I only have one expensive 13-year-old.
Ooh.
Only one for me.
God bless you. God bless you. But I'm grateful to God first, right? As I said earlier, lost my mom at 15. By 16, I was pregnant. I had my daughter at 17. Had my son at 19. I was technically still a baby.
So you was in Jack with us when were you at
I graduated with a belly. Graduated. I'll never forget. It was prom. I was a spoiled child. All right. I was a spoiled child. And so my dad paid for me to get a custom gown made for prom. And every time I would go to the tailor, she's like, I have to keep adjusting these measurements. I don't know what's going on. I was like,
oh, wow. So you didn't know?
Oh, I knew, but I wasn't going to say anything. I was like this straight A student. I was popular. I was, you would never expect me to be doing this stuff.
You were one of the smartest.
I was the first in our graduating class to get accepted to college. I got accepted to Morgan State University.
She was smart. I'll tell you that for sure.
So you wouldn't expect the smart girl to be the one that's like, wait a minute, you're the teenage parent? Oh my gosh. So it was actually the night of prom when people realized. My family found out that night because, of course, they're doing this video. Come on down in your dress. And I come down the stairs. Now, I had a shawl, but at this point, it's a fitted dress. It has cutouts to the side. And they're like, and then when I get to prom, everyone realizes, like, oh.
But see, that's the thing one thing about me, as much as I was at school, I believe once I started hanging around Maine, and shout out to all of y'all because I love y'all. Shout out to Maine, Cap, Sums, the whole QU squad, getting on the 77 to Hillside. Or once I started actually hanging around them, sophomore, junior year. As much as I was in school and I was around school, I wasn't always wrapped up in school. I was doing literally the bare minimum, rapping and figuring out life and just hanging around everybody. So even with that, I was never interested in going to the prom. I didn't want to do none of that shit. It wasn't prom or I didn't even want to graduate. Like, what? Forget it. That's what it was like, dude. I said, I proved it to myself. I got my credits. I didn't pass one test. It was like, dude, you are gonna sit down. You're gonna take it one last time. I think I took it twice, 2 or 3 times. And I failed every single time. And I was literally like ready to
Like over it.
it's over.
Like, I don't even need this.
Piece
Like,
of
I
paper.
know what I'm gonna do, and none of this is necessary.
But my sister, she made a good one. Shout out to you, Claudia. She was like, listen, mommy said to make sure that all of us graduate, you have to graduate. And I was like, I'll go get a GED. And Jackie, again, shout out to J-Bone. Dr. Jacqueline Brown.
Okay.
So, yeah, with
Yes.
that being said, math and science, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Listen, I know we humanities and all that, though, but Lord, and God, the math, we had people, we had some from all slots.
Everywhere.
We was pretty
were
deep
one
before we
big
snuck into the school.
Yes, absolutely.
But to watch it, you know what I'm saying? Even like that, her as a mom now and, a doctor, and she's like, yo, I'm like, do you realize that to see that? Like, that y'all really, you're leaving school, you're going to come to the house, you're going to play Family Feud and things in the background and help you raise your niece and nephew. Shout out to y'all. And we're going to figure this out. And they really, really, shout out to the math and science crew. They really did their thing.
Big shout out for
Humanities
sure.
had me out there wilding for respect. They had me doing all types of shit.
Humanities ain't really had no humanity.
But we kept the school alive, though. We balanced it out,
We
though.
did.
If it wasn't for us, that school would
We
be
kept the
boring.
humor. We kept the humor.
We kept the human in there. The humanities.
That's what we kept.
So pretty much, so you travel a lot.
I do.
You travel. So when you travel, what's the strategy? How are you getting yourself together? What's the
strategy for travel?
No, I mean, as far as you just going towards each event. Is there I wake up, I go up for the 3 R's. I wake up, I have my routines, my rituals, my responsibilities. I don't break them for nobody. I know what I'm gonna get up. I know exactly how much coffee I'm gonna make. I know specific things to where, as you can see, I would even set the alarm so I can navigate and bounce a certain way. But that was for this. That wasn't for that. But still learning in real time. So I always have my routines, my rituals, my responsibilities. And I'm going to ask y'all, though we all have it, it's never going to ever be the same. So now I wonder, what you do, what's your strategy? How do you strategize on a daily as a woman, as a
absolutely.
operating in?
First and foremost, I don't get out my bed without having a conversation with God. I don't talk to anybody before I talk to God. I don't get out my bed without having a conversation with God. Non-negotiable. I don't care what it is. I don't care if I woke up late. I'm not leaving that bed until I have a conversation with God.
That's interesting you say that. And because I've been getting out the bed and I won't speak. I now make it my business to drop down and say, thank you. I have to just say, thank you. If I could do that, then I could navigate. But even I caught myself getting up and brushing my teeth right away. But then when I do that, and then I got to take my vitamins and I'm drinking the orange juice to taste like shit, excuse me. So I kind of modified that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But it's one of those things of being able to say thank you. And the first words that come out when you look at yourself is like, hey, how you doing? You look good. Hey, let me see. So I've been finding different ways on how I need to modify my routine. But you have your own conversation before your feet touch.
Before my feet touch the floor. My feet technically touch the floor kind of sort of last. So I break it down in my 5-day prayer challenge. It's one of the things that I teach was called doing the work daily.
Okay.
And the work is worshiping God, first and foremost, being obedient to whatever God has called me to do for that day, actually hearing his voice to know what he wants to do that day. Then I'm going to read the scripture. I'm going to read whatever, God is leading my heart to read so that I'm also prepared and armored for the day, because I don't know what this day got going on today. Only he knows.
Yeah.
So prepare me before I go out here, and then I'm going to kneel. I'm going to honor him by kneeling at the side of my bed, telling God, God, I honor you, I worship you. Anything that I need to get off of me, make sure it's off of me now. Anything. And I really prepare in that way every single morning. And that also includes writing in my prayer journal. I'm very big on writing in my prayer journal. I'm very big on documenting my prayers, because I want God to know that he's the head of my life. And that's big for me. And the reason why, and I want to be very clear about this, because I think some people think that when you do things like that, it makes you like this holier than thou person. No. It makes me a person that understands that I am going to fail, I am going to flaw. And before I do these things, cover me, God, because I know I'm going to mess up. I know I'm going to be stubborn. I know I'm not always going to listen. So help me prepare to be the best daughter I can be.
You said you're always not going to listen?
I know it.
Not listening.
I'm very honest. I know it. One of the things that, like, in 2024 that I said to God is, God, help me to be better at being obedient. Like I told you, I was called at 9, right? If we go back to 2013, I'll never forget. There were 3. Actually, it was summer of 2013 when God came to me and said, I need you to start a women's group. And I said, I don't have the resources. I'm going through a whole lot. I was going through things in my marriage at the time. I was married. And I'm like, I am not the candidate that you want. I am messy.
At what age was this?
This was in 2013.
2013. So that would be, that's 12 years ago?
I just turned 42, y'all. So y'all can do the math on that.
So that would be 12. So, I mean, you'd be 30. It was 30.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. So, yeah.
Just turning 30. So that means, like, the
right
third decade.
So I was messy.
So.
Okay. And I was like, God, find somebody else to do it. Like, I know Christina. Christina is stubborn.
So
Like,
you didn't have time?
I didn't have time. Find somebody else to do it. I am not the daughter that you want to do this. And that was summer of 2013. By December 6th to be exact, I'll never forget that date. December 6th, 2013, God sent 3 different women with 3 different issues in 3 different scenarios and places come to me and say, can you mentor me? Like, I've been watching you. I'm so inspired by you. And I'm just like, me? December 6th, 2013. Never forget. And when those 3 women came to me, I knew that was confirmation from God. Like, I don't care about your mess. I don't care about what you've been through. I actually want to use all of that in order to get what I need to get across.
It's like an amazing Christmas gift, like how they would say, going through the desert, like the 3 wise men. It's like you was given the 3 wise women.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you would say back then that, you wasn't called to do it. But I know one thing that we are called to do. We are called to pay these bills. And we're going to go to commercial break. We are live on set. We have so many things that I'm going to be talking about, that we're going to be talking about, but I'm going to be asking. And we're going to see what come out of it. We're live on set. Be back. So you love creating, you love music, and you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Some Law comes in. These guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Some Law knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track. With us, there's no more struggling between wants and needs. They get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, the governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. So, photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production, Some Law has the experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer. Call us and take the next step to share what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you guys in the studio.
Sis, it's time to prioritize you. On February 8th, join me for Equipped, an intimate, God-led experience designed to transform your emotional, physical, mental, financial, and spiritual life. And our 2025 theme, The Whole Woman. This isn't just an event. It's your opportunity to align your faith and purpose with practical tools and intentional goals. You'll hear from powerhouse speakers like academic success coach Candace Hudson, real estate developer Deontay Chantel, and relationship coach Maisha Taylor. And yes, of course, you'll hear from me as well, Christina Danielle, your purpose alignment and prayer strategist. Imagine stepping into 2025 feeling whole, confident, and equipped to conquer everything God has for you. Don't wait. Visit bit.ly, that's bit.ly/equipped2025 to register today. Once again, go to bit.ly/equipped2025 to secure your spot for Equipped 2025.
And we are back. We're live on Set with Irv. Strategies, execution, technology, teamwork, whatever you want it to be. And we are here in the studio with Christina Danielle, homie of mine, great, dear friend. I mean, you name it, she's doing it. And we was talking about risk-taking. Mm-hmm. And you said something that made me say that I said earlier before. Imagine being strapped with a parachute and being on the edge. How many people are going to actually take the leap? Who wants to know what it actually feels like? Some people be at the top of that hill and be like, I ain't jumping off no goddamn cliff. You crazy? Jump off of a cliff? That's a good question. How about you? Would you take the leap?
Absolutely.
You'll take the leap?
I've been taking leaps.
You've been taking the leap. There you go. I knew I was coming. Figure that.
Been taking leaps. I
Those
mean,
are like certain
I've
questions.
literally done tandem jumping out of a plane. So.
Certain females, I try not to ask that question, but I feel like for show purpose, I have to ask the question. You know what I mean? So, you jumped out of planes before?
Yes, I have.
How many times?
Once. And I would do it again.
You'll do it again?
I would do it again.
Jeez.
And I did it in wedges because I have this thing where people try to tell me where I can't do. And
You did it in what? In wedges?
Yes. I didn't have on technically heels, but they were wedges. So they were technically still a heel. And I was with a group of people. They were like, you really can't jump out of a plane with that because you can hurt yourself. And I was like, watch me.
So you was somebody's 35,000 feet in the air with wedges on?
Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong.
You still have those wedges?
I do not. But I have the video. I did it. But I will say this. For the first 2 to 4 seconds, you get to that end of the plane, like right when you're going to jump out with the person. And they're like, you ready? And I'm like, no.
Hell no. You crazy.
What made me think this was a good idea?
Who'd you do it with?
We were in Texas. Oh. So they had the instructor that, we jump out with or whatever. But yeah, we were in Texas.
What part of Texas?
Oh, gosh. Was this in Houston or Dallas? I don't remember which one.
If it's H-Town, shout out to H-Town.
But yeah, we were definitely in Texas when we did this. And I promise you, 2 to 4 seconds, I was like, why did I think this was a good idea? But here's the thing about taking a risk. Mm-hmm. It may not feel good in the moment.
Yeah. Talk about it.
But the results of taking the risk is greater than the risk. The result is always greater than the risk. I promise you. Because when I got out there and we actually jumped, and I was like, that's what a risk feels like. Let's be honest.
So you was harnessed,
strapped, all that. Okay. But this is how a risk literally feels. It's like scared, nervous, all the feelings. I mean, think about it. It's something you've never done, someplace you've never been. So you're going to have those feelings. You're a human. But the moment you take that risk, I got out there and I was like, this is not so bad. This is actually very beautiful.
Free.
Very free.
You could see.
Very free.
Oh, was it
clear
day?
It was clear.
Wow.
Clear. Like just being up. And I take a lot of planes. I talked about traveling a lot. Yes. So I'm always window seat. I'm a window seat girly. So you look out there.
The windows.
Window seat.
Gotta have a window.
Gotta have
shout out to the window seats.
So looking out the window, you can see like how freeing that is. Imagine being a part of that.
That I never did skydiving yet.
So good.
But I'm looking forward to it. You know, once I had London, I've always caught myself. I think a lot more with having a little girl. I think a lot more. You know, but sometimes I think a little bit more than I'm supposed to. You know, but I always get it together. But yeah, I was just looking at a friend of mine that's got a bunch of tattoos, and I'm like, yo, girl, you out of control. And I can't wait to get some more ink. You know, but it's one of those things of once I had London, I didn't get any more tattoos. I just was, you know, money was different.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, so I just think about that, and yeah, we're taking that risk. You'd be surprised how many people, like I always say, you know, there's very, very few of us that are really, really taking a risk. When did you know that you was ready, like to do what you're doing now? When did you know? Like, did you know? Like, did you?
Are we talking? So, to answer this question, right? There's a lot of things. So, when we ask when did I know I was ready to do what I'm doing now, are we talking about because I'm an author, coach?
Well, I mean, but that, well, then I would say all of the
All
above,
of the above?
because you know, how do you find like the time? You know, like we all, like I was just saying in the previous episode, you know, we would give ourselves, we have 24 hours. Yes, we have 24 hours because that's a man-made construction right there. But you know, we used to know whatever the sun, you know, when the sun came up and sun went down, the moon came up and then the moon went down, vice back and forth, you know. But then with the time, like for me, I got see, I have an eye. Yeah. So, yeah.
With the time.
What are you doing? Every single time. You know, yeah. And with that being said, hey Siri. Yeah, I got it. We good. So, like I was just saying, you know, with time, we have you don't need to give your, like, you know, with you doing all these different things. I'm in school. I'm a school teacher. You know, finding time to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm recording music. Daughter have a basketball game. You got to make time for that. Women need time. You know, got to do all these different things. You have to travel. You have to plan. You have multiple children. I only have one child. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, you have to think about that balance. How do you find time?
So, first I'll say this. I don't believe in balance. At least not for me. The reason why I say that is because you will fall short on something every single day. It is inevitable. And so rather than looking for balance, I look for harmony. How can I harmonize the things that I do so they all flow together, work together?
Okay.
So that's my philosophy. Balance may work for other people. It don't work for me. I ain't gonna lie. It may work for everybody else. It doesn't work. I have to. Because balance to me, it makes me feel so structured, and I want to be fluid. I'm really big on being fluid. I don't like to be super structured. Like there's certain things obviously that have to be structured on because I have multiple businesses. I still have a 9-to-5. I'm a mother. Like, so yeah, there's certain things that I still have to be structured on. So to answer regarding how do I find the time, I find fluidity, right? What would work best for my spirit today? That's going to help me be better tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. I got what you're saying.
Right? Like, how can I find joy in what I do today so that I don't feel overwhelmed? Don't get me wrong, there's moments of overwhelm. That's life.
That's
But
right.
how can I work towards feeling the least amount of overwhelm as possible? And so for me, because I can be all over the place. That's just the God honest truth, right? So for the person that's like, I'm just super not structured and I can't get it together, it's okay, me too.
They would call that
Me too.
in Latin they would say that's ordo ad caio.
Ordo ad caio.
Ordo Apkayo.
Odo Apkayo.
That means
What does
order out of chaos. And as in, like we always be like this, but somehow, some way we put everything in the right blocks.
Yep,
it's like
figure it
Tetris.
out. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You find the order out of the chaos.
Absolutely.
That something that just get thrown at you. You just have to.
Like it has to get done. So a couple of the things that I do regarding time to help with that, right? So this is going to be for my people who just feel like you're just an organized mess and you don't know how you do it.
Surprise.
First and foremost, you are not alone. You are not alone. Everybody is not out here 1,000% all together. It's not true. But we still get it done.
None of them. And anybody who say that they do, they're lying to you. They're lying to you.
Okay? They're lying. That's just it. But for me, I start with my non-negotiables. Like I said, I do not leave my bed until having a conversation with God. I do not speak to anybody else in my life until speaking to God first. That is a non-negotiable. Another non-negotiable.
I admire
for me,
that so much.
Like,
you don't even know how much I admire that.
Here's the thing, right?
So
if I'm going to have
important.
a conversation with you, I need to be able to present my best self.
And you know how hard that is nowadays for and I don't want to say y'all. I don't want to say y'all because I don't want to get my ass chewed off. But I want to say, and I don't want to say black women, but for me, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about black women, especially, being presented to the World of Essence Festival at about the late 20s, like turning 30. Where, thanks to T, and T's 5 years older than me. So it's one of those things of, when you're dude from Queens and you into rap and you doing all these things, I'm doing eclectic or, all the alternative music, doing all types of wild shit. And then you throw me in the middle of the fray with the Erica Campbells of the world, you know what I'm saying? And the Jill Scotts. You like, well, I gotta, I can't be sagging. Nah, I gotta look good. Gotta look good for babies, you feel me? And then, her conglomerate. And shout out to every single one of them women because they are part of that village that allowed me to make sure that I always like to keep myself together. Even when I was the order out of the chaos, I still kept myself together. But in this case, there was no half stepping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it really, really taught me a lot. So when I say as far as with women, I learned a lot that a lot of women wake up. First thing they do is they're in their bed. They're looking at what's going on in the world. Before they even, they're exposed to so much before they even get up.
Exactly. So you defined yourself before, or you allowed the world to define you before you could define yourself. And you have to be very careful of that.
That's scary. Have to be very careful of that. Scary. So how do you avoid that? Or when did you start? Because technology, there's so many things happening.
Oh, gosh.
Like right now, we have our phones down and, we can go to our phones and look at I have about 12 things that's just laying there for me to just be exposed to.
I sometimes have to actually get back to looking at what's going on in the world or social media because I remove myself very frequently. I do not want to be influenced by this world. So for that, I am still looking for the harmony of knowing what's going on and not knowing what's going on.
That's what I learned too. With me not being able to be on Facebook like that, I find it interesting how if something happens in my family, Tanya would say, hey, maybe you should call your cousin. And I'm like, for what? And she'd be like, oh no, something I saw on Facebook, because the whole family has her as a friend on Facebook. Yeah. And me is like, I have some entertainment, but and if I do show anything, it's more like I'm showing something on the gram that's connected to Facebook and stuff like that. So when it pops up, they be like, oh, I saw your stuff on Facebook. I'm like, oh, that's right, yeah, because I have it, but I'm not around, but
correct.
But I learned so much that a lot, and believe it or not, I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. How do we fix that? How do we find, and not just women, but men as well? I mean, like I was just saying to my partner, I couldn't believe it. I've watched him, double tap on tits and ass, but your homeboy is putting in real work. I'm like, yo, whoa. That sound fire. He's like, yes, my man's in them. and you ain't double tapping and liking and sharing and subscribing.
Gosh.
Like, come on, baby.
This is about to be a deep.
But you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what
You
you're
know what I'm
saying.
saying, and it's something that when you like the accountability of a lot of women ain't taking accountability. A lot of men, well, correction. I believe a lot of men and women, when they accept who they are and they grow into themselves, that right there, I don't want to confuse men and women, and I have to say that
They're separate
because
Yep,
it
they're
is
different.
it is totally different.
Completely.
Like my daughter, I'm raising a young lady.
That's right.
She knows what it is. She's not grown
That's
yet.
right.
You know what I mean? But she knows she ain't one of these, and she damn sure ain't gonna be singing damn Pound Town.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sexy Red. I think she is a big artist. So, I mean,
I am not a sexy red.
no, I mean, I find
The
it.
glow.
No,
my
yo,
girl.
no, Glow.
Glow.
Now check this out. I follow Glow on Instagram. You see? I follow Glow. I
Love me
mess with
some
her.
Glow.
I rock with her. You know what I mean? But I use that as in a lot of people. How do we fix that? Or is that even something that could be changed where people have like to, keeping your phone, like keeping your phone far enough away to where when the alarm go off, I have to get up and go turn it off.
Correct. So is one simple word that fix that. Boundaries. People do not set, either they don't set boundaries or they don't set proper boundaries. And where you don't think about it, right? If you think of a construction zone or any type of, we'll just start with the construction zone. Think of that, right? When things have to happen, there's only certain people that are allowed in that space. You have to be qualified to be in this space. You have to be connected to this space. You have to have credentials for this space. And if you don't, you got to stay on the outside of this space. People do not set boundaries. If we start to set boundaries in our lives, and this is not just for people, this is people boundaries, this is social media boundaries, this is I do not watch the news boundaries, lifestyle boundaries. If you set boundaries, because how do you want to lose 20 pounds, but you eating fries 10 p.m. every single night? Where is your boundary? Like, where is your boundary? It's not God's fault. It's yours. Accountability here. It's your fault. You're eating fries 10 p.m. every single night and then laying down with a Pepsi. And like, well, God's not answering my prayers by losing these 20 pounds. Huh? So the simple answer, like, of course, there could be more depth to it, but the simple answer is you have to set and follow, because it's one thing to set a boundary, it's another thing to follow it. Set and follow boundaries.
I found out. Do you know what the news stand for? You know, like the letters, what the letters stand for?
No, I don't.
North, east,
Oh,
west,
that one I know.
south.
Yeah. That one.
I never.
Oh, I thought you meant like the regular news.
I
Yeah,
never
you know
knew
that.
that.
North, east, west, south. Yeah.
I never knew that.
Really?
I never knew. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like,
I paid a little bit of attention in school.
See? Definitely skipped Mr. Feldman's class on that one. Shout out to Mr. Feldman. And talking about boundaries, yeah, man. And what's your boundaries? You have to have some boundaries. As I was telling you guys, you know what I'm saying? Just going with everybody's flow and not having something that you stand on for yourself. Oh, sounds like a very, very dull person. That's another topic we need to touch on. Boundaries. We are here in the studio. Christina Danielle, Irv Sumlaw. We're live on set. We will be back. Trust and believe that. Yeah.
Yes.
You love creating. You love music. And you deserve to have a studio that works for you, not the other way around. That's where Sumlaw Entertainment comes in. Guys, they're unapologetically dedicated to doing it right from the start. Sumlaw knows every project is unique. They'll set you up with a smart budget plan that's built around your vision. They're with you every step of the way, checking in, guiding, making sure you're always on track, if you know what I mean. With us, no more struggling between the wants and the needs. Get what's essential so you can focus on what matters. Hey, Governor trusted, and it's simple. They care about bringing your ideas to life. Photo shoots, headshots, videos, music production. Someone has experience to bring your vision out of your head and into the world. Don't wait any longer, yeah? Call us and take the next step to sharing what you've been dreaming of. And I'll see you in the studio. Yeah.
Sis, it's time to prioritize you. On February 8th, join me for Equipped, an intimate, God-led experience designed to transform your emotional, physical, mental, financial, and spiritual life. And our 2025 theme, The Whole Woman. This isn't just an event. It's your opportunity to align your faith and purpose with practical tools and intentional goals. You'll hear from powerhouse speakers like academic success coach Candace Hudson, real estate developer Deontay Chantel, and relationship coach Maisha Taylor. And yes, of course, you'll hear from me as well, Christina Danielle, your purpose alignment and prayer strategist. Imagine stepping into 2025 feeling whole, confident, and equipped to conquer everything God has for you. Don't wait. Visit bit.ly, that's bit.ly/equipped2025 to register today. Once again, go to bit.ly/equipped2025 to secure your spot for Equipped 2025.
Yeah, we're back live on Set with Irv. As you know, we're here in the studio with Christina Danielle. Ma'am. So before we wrap this up, what can people expect of you? Because I know this is not going to be your first and last time here. Don't worry, she will be back, gentlemen. I'll get the extra info, but listen, but it's home team, so just we figure it out. We're adults here. You know what I mean? But I have to ask. So where can people find you? What could we expect? We know you have a lot going on, but
I do.
What can we?
I do. Well, first and foremost, I am most active on Instagram. My Instagram handle is very simple. It's at I am Christina Danielle. That's it. So it's very, very simple.
I'll make sure I do that. Information will pop up at the bottom.
Yes. So you can reach me there. I answer all my own DMs for the most part.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
I answer all my own DMs for the most part.
I got 3 people who don't.
Yes, I'm not that person. I answer my own DMs, and actually, I have a couple of things on Instagram that you can definitely just connect with. Other than just my regular posts and stories, I also have an IG community. It's a free community, the IG channel called Purpose and Prayer, and I drop prayers in there every single day. So come up in the room and get some encouragement, get some prayers every single day. Outside of that, you could always email me at info@christinadanielle.co. And my website is www.christinadanielle.co. Coming up, I'm not sure when this airs, so I don't know if you have to edit that part, but I do have an event on February 8th. I'm hosting an in-person event called Equipped. It's my annual event where I gather 20 women for an intimate experience, an intimate God-led experience to equip you with the tools and resources to be your best self in 2025.
Do they have to do you have them already? You have the 20 already?
There are still some openings, so you can still register.
Okay. Is it a paid thing? Do you have to pay?
It is a paid event. One thing about me, and we can talk about this the next time I come back here, because don't worry, I'll be back. But to those of you who are entrepreneurs, please don't be afraid. Put a price tag on your services.
Oh, man, talk about it. Talk that talk.
Please, I don't care if you've sold one of something ever in your life. You sold something. There is some type of skill or expertise or gift that you have that people are paying other people for.
Yeah, very much so.
So don't be afraid. All right. But yes, this is a paid event. We currently are running 2 promotions, early bird pricing, which ends, I think, in about 2 weeks. It's like a week before the event that it ends. Okay. And then we also have a BOGO where you can buy one, get one. So if you want to bring your bestie with you, sis, you can do that.
That's smart.
All right?
That makes sense.
Because I get it. Sometimes you don't want to go to an event by yourself.
Yeah, you can't go alone.
You know
Come on. Like, y'all women ain't going to the club by yourself.
You're not.
You know what I mean?
So come on. Level up together, right? Level up together.
And that right there is what I find, that's what I loved about Essence Fest. When I was able to see the different sororities and the things that they were doing. And we've been doing this since we was like 13 together. I'm like, damn. And y'all doing it. Yeah, we done gross this.
So
we done
dope.
this. We done like, that
So
right
dope.
there. And
I
y'all
love
both
it.
look good, smell good. Y'all both
I love
exude. You can see that's what it's all about.
It's always collaboration over competition. Always. Always, 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 always. And I love what I do because it affords me the opportunity to show women that there are other women out here who definitely want to see you win, who will love on you, who will support you. I think that is so important because a lot of times what we see, unfortunately, especially on social media, is a lot of competition and people thinking they're better than each other and they don't want to let you in their space, and gatekeeping. Because why would I let you in a space? Because then you might take over. Sis, if I teach you how to do something, you do it better than me, I did a good job.
You know what I mean? But that's what. But everyone's not afforded to know how to do that. That's the reason why I love what I'm doing, because I get to bring those who aren't afraid to put people on. It's the thing of where like I'm gonna bring you over here. I'm gonna bring you to the fish, teach you how to fish, and before you even get to know how to fish, you want to taste the fish, so you know what you're gonna be able to catch going forward. Because everyone's not even in a position to do that. So I mean,
I'm gonna say this, and I'm a real person, y'all. If you don't know me, I'm a real person.
She looked at you.
I need y'all to understand why people do not like to collaborate. People do not like to collaborate, and people gatekeep when they don't know enough information. That is it. So if I give you information that I know, and you run and you make $1 million with it, or you become super successful with it, now you leave me in a position where I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's people who are scared of their own identity. When you know who you are, when you know what you provide, when you know that you have more open to you, you are not afraid to share. As a matter of fact, you understand that it is planting seeds that have to grow at some point.
That's the only way it's going to work anyway.
I am not successful if I'm the only one successful.
And if you can't be used, you're useless. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very much so.
God gives us gifts. He gives us gifts and talents. Every one of us. Some of us more than others.
Yeah.
Right? Find out what that gift is. And this is one of the things that we'll be doing at Equipped on February 8th, right? One of the things we're doing is talking about our spiritual gifts, because I believe that if you understand your spiritual gift, if you understand your God-given gift and not what people have taught you, right? You now operate from a place of not just authority, but also authenticity.
If you had to leave us with a scripture, did you have one today so far?
I always have one.
Okay.
I always have one.
One in mind?
And I'm going to go with the one that has gotten me to where I am today, which is Philippians 4:13.
Okay.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I read it specifically as Christina can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I make scriptures personal to. So it means, although if I feel like I don't have the strength, if I feel like I can't make it, because sometimes I can't, sometimes I may not have it within me, Christ strengthens me even where I'm weak. He gives me everything I need to keep going, to not give up, to take the risk, to be successful.
And all the other things that come along with it. Because, I mean, in order to hustle, execute, your discipline, your ambition, the things you sacrifice, your patience, your failures, as you mentioned, you know what I mean? You cannot be successful without failures. And I hope you understand that. You cannot. Oh, and that stopped. That died. That's good, though. But you cannot be successful without failure. Sister, I appreciate this. Thank you for pulling up.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for watching. This is not the last time. There's so much more. So much more. But any last words? Anything else?
My last words is, I didn't even tell y'all I have a whole brand. Shame on me, right? Did you pray .shop. So this sweater that I'm wearing here today that says prayer is my love language. This is available on didyoupray.shop. So definitely shop the brand, y'all. Did You Pray was birthed in about 2018, 11-ish, somewhere around there. And it was birthed really to remind us of what to do when we forget what to do. So if you do nothing else, go shop the brand. Because I am not afraid to talk about my own brand. That's all I got.
So clearly when you see me with the apparel, you know
Yes.
I got mine. You know what I'm saying? But you know how this is.
I got you.
Just thank you for pulling up. Guys, we are live on set. And yeah, man, listen, if you got certain things going on, yeah, stand what you stand for. Represent, hold it down. And hopefully you're just listening. If you're just listening while you're doing what you have to do, we salute that. You know what I'm saying? Because some podcasts, most of my podcasts, I don't sit down and watch. It's always just me playing in the background, and I'm always setting up lights or doing something else. You know what I'm saying? Catching.
Yeah, for sure.
Always doing something else. Everything but watching and sitting still. We're live on set. Irv, Christina Danielle. We will catch you guys on the next episode. In the meantime, in between time, peace.
Peace.
This is
Because I do it all the time, and people like, "What's that shirt you got?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, my brand." They're like, "Well, you got brand." Yep, that too.